Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is the 11th episode of the SuperNova Show. And tonight, I've got one guest, but he is the Schmoedown Pro, Mr. Amaru Moses. So let's go ahead and bring him on out here. How you doing?
I am fighting allergies. I've been fighting allergies for a week, and I'm still fighting them. A lot better than I was last week, but they suck. They suck a lot. But other than that, I'm good.
That's good. I know last week you were having a real hard time, and I am not ready for that. That part of spring is like the worst thing. But
yeah, I'm in that little in-between phase where like they're kind of gone, but like your nose is every once in a while just like, I'm here. You're itching again. You're going to sneeze. So we'll see how that goes. Tissue handy. Sorry, y'all. I tried to like get out of the stream last week every time I had to blow my nose, but not today. Oh, yeah. This is fun.
Yeah, I'm so glad you were able to be on. We'll get to talk some Schmoedown stuff, some fan league things, and then we're going to talk Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I talked about last week, the fact that Marvel's releasing so much stuff that we would never get to do this. So on little events like this, where it's only the two of us, we can totally talk Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Hey, for sure.
Yeah, it's been quite a week. I can't really complain too much. Yeah, not too bad. So I have a question. So how did One Gotta Stay go?
It was pretty fun. My sister came on for this one. It was the male R&B groups of Jodeci, Boyz II Men, Tony, and Drew Hill. We had RJ, a couple other one of my friends, and I was the only one who had Boyz II Men leaving first, and everybody hated me for it, and it was fun. But it was very, very enjoyable. Very enjoyable. Had a good time.
That's good. Like I only knew who Boyz II Men even were. That like they were the only ones. I had no idea who the rest were. So I was like, yeah, I can't put out a list for this. So I can't wait for your next one. I guess we'll see how everything goes with that.
Sometime this week. I try to make the videos on Tuesday, and then it never happens, and then it just inevitably gets pushed to Friday. So we'll see. At some point this week, it'll come out saying what the picks are for Monday, for next Monday.
Yep. All right. Well, that's awesome. I can't wait to see what that is and see if I can send in a few picks.
You might be able to. I'm thinking. I've heard enough from you that you might be interested in this one.
All right. Well, that's good to hear because I don't know anything about music. Like, nope.
No.
Yeah, no, not at all. But all right. So I know you had your match last week. Well, I guess when this comes up, it will be 2 weeks ago. But how do you feel? You still feeling?
I got the win, so that's really all that matters. And now the suspects are 3-0, which I'm very happy about. And 3-0 from rookies. 3-0 from rookies. So we haven't even gotten to the meat of our squad yet. I'm really excited for Liz to go up against Roka. I want to see how that goes. But yeah, so I am very excited to see how this season continues, and I really want to know who I'm facing next. I still don't want to know for like another week or so, but I'm excited to see who's up next.
Yeah, like I'm glad the season's back. Like it's always a little weird, like not getting emails from Patreon, but so now I'm back in the groove of, oh, Patreon. Oh, cool. There's a match today. So I can watch it. But I have not watched today's match yet between the kid and Chance. I haven't had the chance to do. I haven't had the chance to do that. Yeah, I haven't had the opportunity to watch that one, but yeah, like the Brother Lomas match. I know there's a controversial iRobot.
Yeah, look, one Christian is having a rough start to this season. He's gonna have to because that definitely wasn't the writers on that one. He's gotta tighten it up a little bit because that was I was like, no, okay, are we gonna keep that? Where's the challenge? No challenge. But I did notice Christian was taking his time. I feel like he was taking his time. Like, he took a good 20, 30 seconds to get to the next question, waiting for a challenge to come, or at least that was my perspective. So I don't know what happened and why he even said it was acceptable, because that is not the right answer.
Yeah.
Even more surprising is that Lomas, not Gucci. Gucci not knowing anything is not surprising at all. But Lomas said nothing. And it's like, okay, cool with me.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I know we don't have a pay-per-view tonight, which that's good. We have one next week, which will be
it's the Oyama.
Yeah, Bibiani versus Oyama, and Damon versus Demolanta.
That's a matchup. I'm torn because the Damon Demolanta one, that'll be a good, really, really good match. It's the Bibbs and Oyama one where I still like Swag, and I like Oyama. I like Paul. He's a cool dude. But I feel bad for Koi. I really want them to get out of the hole. And hopefully, today, they get out of that with the kid. But, man, they are not having a good start to this season at all.
They're at what, -1?
They are at -1, yes.
Yeah, that's crazy. But, yeah, it's an interesting time. I can't wait for next week because even though I am not good at Star Wars trivia, I support Alex Damon all the way. So, I think I support his YouTube channel. I try and watch everything I can, and just in the Schmoedown, he is such a nice human being. I don't know if I've ever told the story on the show or not, but when it came to Star Wars Celebration 2018, I posted something in the Facebook group saying, hey, I'm going to propose to my girlfriend at Star Wars Celebration. And I was like, I'm going to be at the show, the Schmoedown event where they had it in Chicago. So what should I do? And a lot of people hit me up and was like, hey, and Alex was like, if Christian approves of it, I will totally help you out. Take a break in the middle of the thing and help you. And then I found out my now wife, she would not have liked that because she does not like attention, and she would have wanted her family around. So we didn't do that.
That good. It's a good thing you found that out, and that did not happen.
Yeah, she would not have appreciated that. So we're good about that. And I've since told her that story, that one day she hinted, or she was talking about it. She was like, yeah, if that were to ever happen, I would want it to be around my family. And she didn't know that I was, or maybe she knew that I was listening. And
probably did. She probably did.
And I was like, okay, well, we're going to cancel that idea. And I told her later, she's like, yeah, I would have been so embarrassed. And because she went to the Schmoedown show with me, but she doesn't know anything about the Schmoedown. So she doesn't really, she doesn't know too much about it. And, she She only came because the Star Wars celebration and stuff because she loved me. So
there you go.
Yeah. So yeah, but like I think Alex is going to end up winning next week.
I mean,
just because just because he's Alex. Like I can't root against him, and he doesn't miss. And yeah, like Demolanta doesn't miss really either. But when he does, that's not going to be acceptable when you're playing Alex. So I could see it going to sudden death, but this is going to be a good match.
Yeah, Alex is Alex. He doesn't. He kind of knows almost everything. And Demolanta has shown he has the ability to be a champion, except for the fact that Damon doesn't miss anything. And I don't know how I would feel if Damon does actually miss and Andrew wins, because I low-key want to see Laura Kelly against Damon again. This Laura Kelly, because I don't remember the last time she's missed a question. So either way, it is gonna be a good match, and it's gonna be fun to see who Laura goes up against. Going back though, how do you feel about Brother Lomas as a character though? Just as
okay. So originally, I didn't know if I would like it because as someone who's sort of kind of religious, I was like, I don't know. And then I watched the match, and his promos were amazing, and they immediately took that thought right out. Like I could see where someone would take a character like that and really, really run with it in a negative sort of way, but he did not, and I enjoyed every second of it. It's I like the character. I liked it. It was definitely.
When I saw his draft video, I was like, no, this man is corny. This is kind of whack as hell. This is not going through. But that was just him by himself. Him with Gucci is kind of a perfect pairing. And Lomas has grown on me a lot. Even though he took a couple shots at me slightly today on Twitter. But that's also because I was taking shots at Khan, because he was taking shots at Frankie. But either way, I was watching, I was like, I am enjoying this. Why am I enjoying this? Okay, he's doing a really good job. This is actually kind of creepy and good. I've turned the corner on you. Your character work is pretty damn spot on. I am enjoying this. I need you to lose right now. And the fact that he completely just crapped the bed in third round was amazing to me. I was very happy from my boy Frankie. But yeah, his character work was work. He was going. It was definitely clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, it was good. I like the black and white thing.
That better have been why there was such a long delay. That's what everybody wanted. So I'm very glad that they did just have him in black and white the entire time. That was perfect.
Yeah. I don't know how they did that. I'm sure it was a post-production thing, but it was great and I loved it. I was like, I don't know anything about cameras or whatever, so I don't know if you could set it to black and white to film. I'm sure that would probably be easier to do that, but I'm not the production person, so.
Yeah. And then before that, which was kind of just we were talking about it earlier, why Coy was got -1, but that Saul and Humphreys match.
Yeah,
that was a lot for Humphreys. Like, man, that was kind of sad.
Yeah, he did really well last season in the IG tournament, but that match was not the best. But I don't know if I could do well. I used to be able to be pretty decent at IG. Now with all these new categories, I think I would be subpar at best, because there's a lot of those that I have not seen and definitely don't have flashcards and stuff for. that I'm sure, if I took the time to do that, then yes, I could probably do some of that. But plot stuff, yeah, like questions about plot for any of the Predator movies or any of the Alien movies, except for I've seen Prometheus a lot. I actually really like Prometheus, which is not a very popular thing.
No, not at all.
Yeah, especially around where we live. We live in the deep south, and they hate the fact that they kind of compared Jesus to an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
So, or they insinuated that,
right?
But yeah, I don't know. I wasn't a fan of Covenant, but it's a thing. But yeah, so many of those new categories would just be the worst for me. So I can't really complain or compare myself because I don't think I would do well.
I have to do well. I have to do well with these categories, and I'm coming along. I would have went toe to toe with Saul. I am wondering whether or not I got to face. It's a possibility he might be next. I'm trying to think of who else I would go up against. It'd probably be somebody with around a 1-1, 1-0 record, and it's either probably going to be him or another one of the rookies after we get a couple more IG matches from them. But my thing was, I know that MCU and DCEU are now gone and in Marvel. I really hope we hear more MCU questions because his Marvel round was all Marvel. There was not one MCU question in that round at all. And I'm like, hey, the MCU movies, they exist. I know the slice is gone, but can we get some questions back, please?
Yeah, the only thing I can figure about that is, do you think they're going to do an MCU division eventually?
I don't. If they do, it probably wouldn't be for a couple seasons.
Because, there's more movies in that than there are Star Wars.
That is true.
And they have a Star Wars division that has 12 movies. And I know there have been talks about expanding Star Wars to include the shows and stuff. And if they do that, Damon will never lose ever because he does that for a job. He literally, that's his job, is breaking down all the canon.
Except Marie Wilson just beat him in Dragon Con.
Yeah,
that's bad. So just say it.
Yeah, I think it will happen. I think the free-for-all, the horror free-for-all showed that there could be a horror division. I don't want that to happen because then that might take from the horror category a little bit, but I could totally see them making an MCU division. Especially now they have all the shows and stuff.
I would love that. I would love to compete in an MCU edition. I'd have to run all them back again, of course. But yeah, MCU is I love the MCU. I would love to see that. But until then, I need to hear more MCU questions. I really would just like to hit Marvel and be like, okay, give me 2 or 3 MCU and 2 or 3 Marvel, and I'd be happy. Let's not forget that they exist, please.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree completely. The MCU is so good to rewatch. Me and my kids just recently did that. We watched all the MCU movies that were on Disney Plus, so we didn't watch Incredible Hulk and the 2 Spider-Man movies. I had to go actually into my Blu-ray collection and find those. But that's such an easy way to watch it because they're all on one platform except for the 3 movies. So and they're all so good too. They're not all so good,
but none of them are bad. None of them are bad movies.
Yeah, I agree. But so some fan league stuff has happened in the last week. I know Full Metal had their big event. I cannot remember the name of it to save my life. Let's think. And I know
last year, or you said Full Metal. Oh, Snowball.
Yep. Yeah, so they had that. I watched the a little bit of it, and I saw that David lost.
Yeah. David lost to Nick again. I know it's sad to say again, but it was close. It was closer than the last one. It was really one question in that fourth round that kind of swung it, but they were toe to toe the entire time.
Yeah, I really wonder, is anyone going to be able to beat Nick Tuhig?
Yes, David can beat Nick Tuhig. It's tough to do, but he has the ability. And I mean, Scully's beaten him before. I believe Scully also has the ability to do so. Whether it will happen is another question. Not in a championship, but I almost was at least able to take Tuhig to a sudden death. It was just one of those, why didn't I go with my gut answers? And then I got behind 1 point and it was over.
Yeah, like he is so good. And as a person, like, I swear, I don't know if he just didn't put in to be drafted or anything like that, but he would be a give-in for the Schmoedown.
There's not everybody put in for the drafts or put in for the Schmoedown. It's just kind of like you're like, I know I did it. Like, why not? This might be fun. This might be fun. This will be fun, but it could happen. So let's just do it. And others really, really wanted to. But there's a lot of people, I feel like, in the fan leagues that are like, I'm good. I'm going to stick to the fan leagues. I like how this is. I like the competition and everything. So I kind of feel I might be 100% wrong, but I feel like Tuhig's in that category where he's like, nah, I'm going to just step back here.
Yeah, like, he is so good. What is he, like a 5-time champion right now or something like that?
He has technically has the MTFO belt, which is now defunct. He had the Ansel belt. He has the Full Metal belt. He has the team's belt in fandom, and he has the singles belt in fandom. So yes, 5 different leagues. He has the geek belt in one fashion or another.
Yeah, that's insane. Like, and
he's very good at geek. He's very, very good at geek and fandom.
Yep, I agree. I'm trying to think if anything else happened recently. I know Sandy Robinson revealed that he is going to be one of the bookers
for FDL. Yes.
Yeah. For the first class league. So that's exciting that they're picking people up from the fan leagues to help run it. So
yep.
That's good.
And then what else? The other stuff that happened on Snowball, the Wild Stallions, Brian and Joseph played each other, and Joseph lost to Brian. But Club Dread is still reigning supreme on all the single stuff because it was Jurassic Sharks against Wild Stallions, and Wild Stallions kept it. And Club Dread, my former faction, still like controlling all of that. And I got beat by Brian as well. Basically, the entirety of everything not Geek and Full Metal was just a Club Dread show. Because it was like me and Brian on one for the #1 contenders, and then Brian and Joseph for the finals, and then INH, which is Jacoby and Tony versus Jurassic Sharks, and then Jurassic Sharks versus Wild Stallions. So all one faction going for everything singles and teams, which is lovely. And I could have went to that #1 contender against David, but again, I lost against him on the final question.
Yeah, so I'm wondering about that because I don't know exactly how the Schmoedown works. If you had won that, and if you had won the Full Metal Geek Championship, or not the Full Metal Geek, the TM, yeah, if you had won that, what would have happened? Would they I would
have vacated them.
Yeah. Yeah, like yeah. All right. So yeah, this is a good time to switch to TV. So first, before we start Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I want to talk about something about WandaVision. So Did you have like any theories about the show? Spoiler alert! In case if anything is said in the next like 5 minutes, take it, scroll it 5 minutes away. If you still see this, do it a little longer. That means we're still talking. But or come back when you finish WandaVision, because I don't know what we're gonna say, and we don't want to. I don't want to spoil your theories there, person who's watching this. But yeah, like, were there any like major theories that you came up with that either were flat out wrong or whatever? Or did you theorize at all?
Not for me. I'm not the one to like, I mean, I can theorize, and I did throw like random things out there in my reviews where I was like, this could happen, that possibly could happen. But me, I'm not too much of a theorizer. Like, I will just hop onto other people's things and say, oh, that sounds good. It might be this, it might be that. I am more of a go with the flow. This is what this is. I'm just going to enjoy it. Unless it's like a really, really huge thing. And I'm like, okay, I think I like throw a lot of things against the wall and say any of these things can happen. But for me, theorizing, it's nah. I kind of leave that to other people and then follow along.
Yeah, like I swore it was going to be Mephisto, like the entire time, because there have been like potential rumors that Ghost Rider might show up in the Doctor Strange movie. So I was like, ooh, because Mephisto is the one who gives Ghost Rider his powers. So I was like, oh, there's that connection. And if he's the one that's helping Wanda do all this crap, there's a connection there. And I know Kevin Feige likes to build those little connections that you notice. And even if he didn't show up, I thought, hey, that's what he's going to be doing. And then, of course, like, I knew who Agatha Harkness was because I knew she mentored Scarlet Witch in the comics. But I didn't think, like, I definitely thought she was going to die by the end of the. I didn't want her to die.
I'm so glad she didn't.
Oh, I am so glad that she didn't as well. And yeah, like the name of the her name in the show was really kind of like a throw to that, to Agatha Harkness. So I was like, oh, there's that.
Agnes,
and I'm so glad she didn't die. Like, ooh, I was so happy about that. And then yeah, and I thought Wanda was going to be the villain for Phase 4.
She might still be. I feel like she probably will be. She might not be the big bad, but I feel like she's going to at least be partially one of the villains, at least through part of Doctor Strange. I would love it if she's actually a villain past Doctor Strange. Though I'm not sure that's going to happen. I think they might switch it out and make her like turn. But it would be great if she wasn't. It'd be great if she continued to be the villain or the anti-villain throughout more of Phase 4.
Yeah, I would love for her to be the villain, and then maybe at the end or some point in the movies, instead of, at the end of House of M, she goes, no more mutants. I would love for her to be like, no more Avengers. And then that happened. And something that creates the big thing. Like, I would love for her to be a villain. Like, I know a lot of people aren't going to like that because they like her as heroes, but I want her to be the villain because she is powerful enough to break the rest of the Avengers.
For sure.
So, yeah, so it would take them all teaming back up. Like, even, like, maybe Captain Marvel could take her on because you see in Endgame, like, only them two really take a whooping to Thanos without the Infinity Gauntlet, and it takes the Power Stone and to punch Captain Marvel in the face, right. And it takes like raining fire to distract Wanda. So maybe those two could fight it out. But besides that, and since she's off world, she's the most powerful person on Earth. So if she decides to lay a whooping on the Avengers, no one's going to be able to stop her, and I would love to see it.
Yeah.
But Okay, so this is the end of that. So, Agents of Shield.
Speaking of Ghost Rider and the Darkhold,
yeah, like I hope that is a. I hope that's not Kevin Feige's way of saying, "Huh, Agents of Shield doesn't exist," and because they made the book look different and stuff than what it was in Agents of Shield. Because I love Agents of Shield.
yeah,
Like, it is one of my favorite television shows ever. Like, I watch it all the time. Like, my kids and I have started watching it, and it's been a good good time. We just spent our midway through season 2 of because they've never seen it, but I love it. Like, do you have a favorite character in the show, or a favorite moment in the show?
probably collectively Fitzsimmons, like consistently. They like if I have to pick one overall, actually, I have a lot of them, but if I have to really choose one, if I'm not picking Coulson because Coulson's just a man, it's actually going to be May. Like May and Fitzsimmons are like neck and neck for me. I like them a lot.
Yeah, I like Daisy a whole lot. I like Mac. He's really good. And then I like Fitz. Like and for the first 4 seasons, I guess it is, the will they, won't they getting together is like so like nerve-wracking because you're like, at the end of the first season, he tells her that he loves her, and then he blows up the thing underwater and then winds up in a coma. At the end of the second season, she gets pulled in onto Hive's planet and falls in love with Will. That's his name. And the third season, he finds out about it and, is like a good person and is like, oh, I'll help you go save him. Because
one of the best episodes of the entire series.
Yes.
That episode is amazing.
Personally, my favorite moment of the show is at the end of season 2 when Daisy's dad is going off. Like, they have a little speech, and every single time I watch it, it makes me cry. Like, every single time they talk about how he'll never see her again and stuff, and then it leads into him taking the Tahiti protocol and then becoming that vet or whatever.
Yep.
And she shows up and he has no idea who she is, and she's like, "I'm Daisy Johnson," and I'm like, "Oh, she took it. She took the entire name."
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. People were like, the show got really bad and needed to be saved, and I'm like, what season are you talking about? Like, I can't think of a part of the season. I remember like people saying Winter Soldier saved the show when they started incorporating the fall of Shield to Hydra, and I'm like, I vaguely remember that, but it's like, wasn't it like halfway through season 1, and then the rest of it was just kind of like, I guess people like were up and down on seasons. I'm like, I never lost interest. I liked it the entire way.
Like, I will say that I love the first season, and the reveal of them integrating with the movies is great, and Bill Paxton being in it is wonderful. I will say there are some weaker episodes that like don't really, like, they take years to like pay it off. Like the entire,
each season is like 22 episodes. Of course, there's gonna be like those there's filler episodes that are great, and then filler episodes that are like, well, whatever. But it's a 22 episode season.
Yeah, like the entire Gravitron episode in season 1 where the dude falls in and then you see his arm reach out, and then that goes nowhere for 4 seasons. And then Talbot becomes Gravitron in season 5 and he takes in all the gravitonium. And I'm like, did he just absorb that dude as well? And Quinn. So now he's 3 guys in one brain. So that must be real messed up. But yeah, like stuff like that, like I don't like when shows like leave plot lines out, but you know, it happens. Like things happen. Like heck, Ghost Rider leaving at the end of season 4, it was because he was going to have his own show, and the same thing with like Hunter and
Bobby.
Bird's actual character name.
Bobby.
They left because they were supposed to have their own show, and the pilots never came out. So, like,
yeah. Speaking of that, I am so mad that Agent Carter got canned so soon. Agent Carter was a great show, and I was very happy when Sousa came back from that at the end of the series. But I was like, no, Agent Carter was such a dope show.
Yeah, and I do like that they used the Jarvis from that show in Endgame. I love that. Like, and that makes me wonder if that Jarvis ever met Tony. Because you never see him any other time. And he's like, do you know that guy? And, like, obviously, they both live long enough to see Tony be a 21-year-old who looks like old Tony, but, you know, with no facial hair. So at what point did that timeline's Howard and Jarvis be like, hey, that's the dude that came to the base?
It's a very random little meeting, though, so you might not remember it. It's 20 years ago. You don't remember what he looks like. More than 20, however many years ago it was. It's a while.
Yeah, that's true. Like, people don't, up in their adulthood, they don't remember as much. But it would definitely be weird to, like, have that memory and be like, oh, wait, that's my son? Like, but, yeah, like, I like the entire show. I love the 7th season. Like, I think the ending was really nice with all of them doing their own thing. And I like the fact that, like, they brought back Agent Garrett and they had, you know, Bill Paxton's son play him as young Garrett. And, of course, he would know the mannerisms that his dad had because he's his son. And I thought it was great. Like, I didn't know that it was his son at first. I thought they figured out some way, like, you know, like how they did with Tupac, to bring him back.
And de-age or whatever.
Yeah, and de-age him. And I was like, this is uncanny. And then I found out it was his son, and I was like, that makes so much sense. And, yeah, like, I like the entire show. There are certain parts of, like, season 7, like, I wish they had found some way to pay homage to the Ward character, because they had him in season 4 for those few episodes where they're in the and he's in that, but then he's not shown again. And I really like the Agent Ward character. Like, I don't know how they would have referenced him at all, because he was one of the original people. But
I wasn't too mad at him not being in there. They kind of, like, I think they did a really good job of, like, ending his arc. And, like, his arc was done and finished, and, like, you don't have to go back with him because he went full bad, and like, he's not one to bring back because he decided to go his way, and, like, they brought him back for season after season, and then the one homage, but like, nah, that's it, I'm done. They, like, cut that part off. I didn't mind that at all. Really. I wanted, and I guess it's the same with Triplet, because I love Triplet too. And I was like, where's Trip? I want Trip back. But I guess both of them had their little cameo back in the LMD season, and then cut it off.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I really like Director Mace, because in the comics, the Patriot takes over the mantle of Captain America for a time. But who hasn't in the comics, right? But so I was like, oh, cool. They have a different version of Captain America in this. And then they were making him Inhuman, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then they made him a fake Inhuman, and I'm like, oh, that's less interesting. I don't know how I feel about that. And then, like, the entire reveal at that, like, Coulson's like, I didn't want him to be director of S.H.I.E.L.D. I wanted you talking to Daisy, and you left. And I'm like, ah, I want to see her as director of S.H.I.E.L.D. And, like, I think she would have done something really interesting with that. But, you know, now we got, like, we got at the end, Mac being director of S.H.I.E.L.D., and he's, like, unnaturally like Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, like, I really like the show. I know a lot of people don't like it, and like there's some parts like, did you watch the Inhuman show?
Unfortunately, I did.
Yeah, I wish, because that show was awful,
Completely and utterly awful.
Yeah, but I wish they had like used those characters a little more, because it's in the same universe as Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., because they reference the humans getting Terrigen that way. So I wish they had brought some of those Inhumans onto the show. Scratch the horrible Inhuman show. Bring Black Bolt on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Even to just say, oh, this is what he's doing on Earth now. Not that he's just chilling out in Hawaii for 4 years. And now he's not going to do anything, because I doubt the MCU is going to reference Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or any of that stuff. Especially now that they have, like, the mutants. Like, they don't need all that. Like, I don't know.
Well, they still have a pretty good, like, show, especially in WandaVision. They show they still have pretty good storylines with the human characters in Agency. So, like, with Jimmy Woo and Darcy and Monica before she got the powers, they still kind of are going around that. And I've heard that, like, there's a lot of comics that go along with the not superpowered people.
Yeah.
So I feel like they could still go along that route, and they can't disrespect Coulson like that. Like, the one thing that I understand why they didn't, but I wish they would have, is at least letting the Avengers know Coulson survived in whatever way he did, and he was around. I just want, like, I want LMD Coulson to just pop up real quick somewhere, and then people will be like, what is going on in the movies? Just once.
Yeah, yeah, that's so weird. Like, Tony may have died not knowing that Coulson was alive.
Right.
And, which, granted, like, it kind of paints a picture that maybe at the end of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. that they're in a different timeline than the regular MCU stuff, which I'll completely be cool with, because guess what? We're doing a multiverse thing now, potentially. So bring them in. I'm cool with it. Like, do whatever. Like, I don't mind at all. You gotta. But how did you feel about the end of Lola transforming into the new Corvette?
I didn't carry the way. It was. I thought it was cool that they, like, the beginning of the show was with Lola, the end of the show was with Lola. That was cool, but it wasn't anything like I was, like, even really paid mind to too much. It was more about Coulson for me, and making sure Coulson got his due than anything else.
Yeah. As a person that is my favorite model of Corvette, the Lola model, and I don't think a single Corvette has ever matched that year model. So it transforming from the best model of car into something else kind of is like, okay, cool. But it also makes me feel good that finally, like, Coulson let Mac play with it. And for years he had said, you're not touching Lola. And I'm like, yay. And yeah. Yeah, like, I'm trying to think what else on the show that
I was really sad Gabriel Luna did not get his own Ghost Rider show. He was amazing as Ghost Rider. and I would love to see him back. Again, this is the extent of theorizing, where it's more like, who do I want to see back at what point and what time and where. And like, I wouldn't mind seeing Quake pop up somewhere, Mac and Yo-Yo. I don't believe Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is in a different universe. I think the Darkhold coming up in WandaVision is further confirmation that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is still canon, and they still pay homage to it. Not that it's a different one, none of that. I'm like, no, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is there, and it'll always be there. I think it deserves its respect.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, it was the first real Marvel live action show. Like it did things, and then the Netflix shows did their thing, and now WandaVision and all the Disney Plus shows are doing their thing. Like, it's one of those weird things where it's the only one that I don't see any of the characters actually showing up in a movie, or there's been no talks about it.
I don't expect it. I would love it, but I don't expect it.
Yeah, like there's rumors of Charlie Cox showing up in
No Way Home.
Yeah, from No Way Home, in No Way Home as Matt Murdock.
Yep.
There's talks of John Bernthal being the Punisher again.
Which should not be shocked. It should just be truth.
Yeah, but you don't really hear any, even though Ming-Na Wen is in The Mandalorian and could totally make that transition, even if it was just like a cameo, in the background, you see, haha, and people who watch the show would know that's Agent May. But I don't hear any rumblings of anyone.
Yeah, not really. Though they've done it with her in The Mandalorian, and they let her show back up in Mulan. Disney has a connection with Ming-Na Wen. But I am not holding out hope for any of them popping up.
Yeah. Now I did like Coulson's little scenes in Captain Marvel, so at least they still have a good relationship with Clark Gregg, so that one's possible.
Yes.
But the characters that the show created themselves, I don't know about. I could see Coulson showing up maybe one day.
I think I would actually enjoy it more if they showed up in these shows and not the movies. I would really enjoy it if they showed up in one of the shows.
So how would you feel if they retconned some of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to make it fit more into the MCU?
I don't think they would do that. And and they wouldn't retcon it. Their version of retcon would be multiverse. That's what they would do.
Yeah.
That
I could totally see them doing the first 5 seasons happened in the MCU. Because season 6 and season 7 are really hard to fit into the MCU. But season 5 ends off at a great point because Daisy used the serum to defeat Gravitron instead of going and helping the Avengers. That Thanos was able to do whatever, because they reference Thanos coming to Earth, and that's the reason why Gravitron is like, yeah, I got to take in all this power because I'm the only one who can defeat him. And then they don't reference the snap at all. I thought, season 6 is going to open with people on the team getting snapped away. And they did not reference the snap once. And yeah, so I could see them being like, ooh, the first 5 seasons, that happened. It just wasn't Avengers worthy. It was Nick Fury and Maria Hill worthy of them showing up. I just don't think season 6 and 7 I could see if they put it out there. But
yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. Fingers crossed something cool happens. But yeah, like you said, I don't see it happening, at least not for a while.
Yeah. Well, rest in peace to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You were a great show. Love you very much. And I'm pretty sure my girlfriend, like every once in a while, is like, I want to watch that again because she watched it for the first time last year, and she like, what is this? And it would like take the ebbs and flows, but ultimately loved the show. And it's like, I want to watch it again. So it's always great to see.
Like, this is one show I've tried to convince this is the one show that my wife refuses to watch.
Yeah.
Like, I've got her to watch some other stuff, but she's like, yeah, I'm just not into comic book stuff. Like, she's watched The Mandalorian with me, or she has been in the room while I have watched The Mandalorian and been like, why do people think that thing is so cute? It's so ugly. And I'm like, blasphemy. But, like, I would love for her to watch it. Like, I've tried to get her to watch it, and she's always like, I don't understand what's going on. And I'm like, well, it's because we're not at the beginning. But I'll start it all over for you. And she's like,
Right.
no, I don't have to do that. And then every time I go to restart it, she's like, I don't have time for that. I got stuff to do. And I'm like, all right. Well,
Alrighty then.
yeah. What you gonna do? I mean, she already has to deal with me. I might as well just let her do what she wants. But I think we've been on here a good amount of time. Let's go ahead and do this farewell. I have talked so much today, so much more than I usually do, because we have more people on the panel. But and we're talking about something I really like, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So
yeah,
I just was talking. Like, yeah, like, I will totally be content if we ever decide to like do this again and we can just break it down season by season. That'd be great. This was our little overview of the show, and we'll do that. But thank you, Amaru, for coming on. You have anything you need to
keep watching the Schmoedown. I will next week. We'll have a show before that. No, timelines with us. By the time you watch next week's episode, my review for Falcon and Winter Soldier would be out, but I wouldn't have done it by the time we tape it. So look out for that. Before next week's show, my review for Falcon and Winter Soldier will be out. And then if there are any trailers or any things that come out, possibly look out for the list. Oh, I need to say this before I sneeze. The list for One Gotta Stay coming out sometime this week. Don't sneeze. Don't sneeze. Okay. Nope, it's coming. Oh, this emotion, my nose is just faking me out. Okay, it's gone. Anyway, yes, my list for One Gotta Stay will be out sometime this week. And it's a slightly supersized episode, meaning there will be 5 choices instead of 4. And my other hint is I'm not going to be participating. I don't know enough about this topic or all of the things that I could participate, but I will be, it'll be like the anime one where I would just sit back, laugh, and hit as many GIFs as possible.
Okay. That's very interesting. Yeah, I can't wait to see what the topics are, and I will totally shoot you a list if I think I know what we're talking about. But yeah, I know you got like Twitter and Instagram and stuff.
My name, and then this is like the only one where you can't find me. So just I've had bite-sized breakdown up for a while now because we do a lot of good reviews. We just had a review for Raya and the Last Dragon come out. I did a review for a movie that doesn't exist in my head, but other people have done it. It's a so-called sequel to a classic comedy that yeah, I'm gonna just stop talking because that makes me sad. But yeah, look out for bite-sized breakdown on IG.
All right, and ladies and gentlemen, you can follow me at ColtonRoberts8 on Twitter, and you can follow the show at SuperNova_show. This has been a great episode. We've got in under the hour, so my wife doesn't have to murder me. So that's always good. Thank you so much for being on. I really appreciate it. Check you guys out.
Peace.